a bit different from some of my other videos. It's a bit serious, so if you don't want to hear me being serious, turn this off and go and watch something else. However, this is a short story that I wrote for the Decameron Project, which looked at lives and how they changed during the COVID-19 virus of 2020. Now, while I record this, we are actually still locked in with that virus, but I'm hoping that this will get heard in the future and maybe will remind us all some of the lessons that we learned during that very strange time. I'm going to just read it out to you, and I would like to say as well, it's based very, very, very heavily on a true story, and maybe will tell you why I am otherwise so extremely wise in everything that I do. Anyway, for now, here we go. This is people who've overcome adversity for the Decameron Project 2020, and their website will be on the titles at the end. Before I was even old enough to know who I was, I had made more life-altering decisions than most adults I knew. I had more responsibilities than any child should have, and experienced terror and torture at the hands of someone who claimed to love me. Long before anyone could imagine SARS, let alone COVID-19, I had looked down the blade of a knife destined for my heart. I'd felt the indentations of a husband's knuckles and suffered the humiliation of torture and rape. This was my past life, or so I believed. I'd overcome those monsters, reclaimed my life and fulfilled my dreams alongside my responsibilities. But the scars of violence, they're interesting things. The ones that cut and pucker your skin have value. They give credence to your story and provide evidence to your doubters. They are the ones photographed by the police, and they are the ones that people can feel with empathy. They are manifestations of an assault that can be mourned, like the marring of your previously perfect skin and the end of your innocence. It was easy for me to salve the outward scars, long before I embarked on my recovery, my education, my career. But it is the other scars, the ones that sit just beneath the surface, that result in real damage. Damage that lasts for the long term. These are the scars that feed our nightmares. They are the voices that discourage, that set traps for our happiness and put up barriers to our success. I became the champion at quietening those voices, those fears. I lived, I worked, I busied myself to drown out the noise. I fell exhausted into my bed in a stupor of self-congratulation for a job well done. Bootstrap success. Challenges faced, the hero of the hour. How do you do it, they would say. How have you overcome such adversity to shine so bright? But the light you could see was not from my heart. It was the light created by the release of the constant and unending energy I needed to keep working. Working hard enough to ignore the scars that still lived on the inside and screamed for attention every day, in every task and in every relationship. As one dream was fulfilled, another was created to take its place, and therefore the endless cycle of movement was perpetuated, and the scars were hidden, and the voices silenced. Then the quiet time came, and while the world held its breath and watched in horror and fascination, the virus slowly seeped across the planet. For me, all I could hear were the scars, slowly waking up and spreading, COVID-like, through my mind. Their volume increased as the virus spread its quietude across the world. As the slowing of production and the ending of travel started to reset the balance of the planet, so my system reset, lengthening the days, stilling the energy, and so the scars that had been obscured for so long awoke to bestow their damage. And so began my virus of vulnerability. I sat alone with my demons. I sat and listened to their voices undo me. They told me that without being something, I amounted to nothing. That without work or position, I would disappear into the abyss of the mundane and be forgotten. I felt the pain of the long-forgotten scars in that silence. I cried, and I pleaded, and I suffered. But like the bruises and cuts that accompanied the inner scars, my inside started to heal. The quiet came, and then the pain. But as the silence continued, the healing began, and so too the growth. No longer to seek perfection to justify existence. No longer to be good, to be loved. No longer to be liked than to be worthy. I was at peace with error, learning from mistakes and content to lose without hiding my failure, shame-faced behind lies. And as the virus grew and spread around the world, so I allowed myself to grow and bend and change and adapt to the new healing me. My creative tentatively revealed their hand as I played and wrote and learned and discovered new things that I enjoyed without expertise. And the world awoke and listened to the silence, and people awoke to their inner voices. Some hid in new shadows, shadows of self-loathing and sadness and despair. Some continued to busy their demons in new activities. But some, in this time of despair, chose to sit a while with the scars of their past and create for themselves an alternative future. Technology allowed kindness in places that were lonely before. People came together to speak and share and play from distances that seemed to no longer matter. Old attic doors shook off their dust as easels and manuscripts, long discarded for more practical lives, took centre stage again. Meals were eaten together as families found each other and understood more clearly their fortune in having both food and kin. Parents taught their children skills they had long forgotten and remembered childhood lessons and friends. And whether people embraced the quiet or feared it, they found a new appreciation for people whose occupations kept them fed and safe and well. As the combined spirit of humanity sang on balconies, danced on webcams, played, as doorstep applause fueled our belief in one another, we came together for a while, in hope. What we choose to do with this, collectively or individually, is up to us. I choose to let this new world develop in me. I choose to let hope go viral.